Right, one more pedal about videos, one more video about pedals, and then I'll go back. Then I'll get back to talking about other stuff and not getting confused. It's really mentally exhausting trying to work out how to do all this. I don't know why I'm doing it sometimes. I could just get someone to play guitar and then I could have a few of these and they could share the brain power, but yes. Why have I done this? I don't know. Anyway, so here's a bit of not pedal and then pedal. So I've got a bit like this. And then it goes into, hang on. I've got to get better at it. It's easier when they're not there. But anyway, so that's just using a little bit of dirt from the subspace, which is quite nice because when you... It's not really... I mean, if I dig in... But otherwise, it just comes through when I hit those power chords. So kind of trying to act like someone's, stabbed a guitar along with me. And then we get to this fun little section that goes like this. And what's going on there is I've got a sub-octave from the POG 2 that's then running through the boost and overdrive, so it's basically the full drive on max distortion, which isn't very distorted. I've got it turned down quite a bit, but just to give you an idea, this is, let's do them sequentially. Octave. Let's try that again. So, I didn't have the octave on there. I need to put both of those on. So that was without the octave. So this is the octave. And then we've got full drive. This is the overdrive. This is with boost. This is with the octave running into it. This is with the envelope. Which is pretty cool, I think. I was trying to get something really synthy there. Shall I do some more? Pause for thought. Right, this got the bass, the Stingray sounding pretty on its own. And then, so that was all clean, we go into this. And then probably fill up to, and then we changes to, not changing any settings, so I'm just relying on my hands to do it, and hopefully I won't get in a tangle, because I keep getting confused on this bit, because it's a bit playing like a guitarist and I'm a bassist. More red light fever. I definitely sped up at points in that, fluffed some notes, and yeah. It's annoying trying to be perfect, because it's very hard to be perfect in music, and it's amazing what gets lost in the mix, but it's very exposed on the internet, especially when people can like comment, "You're not very good at this, give it up." Anyway, I'm enjoying myself, so who cares? Oh yeah, go on then. One more. It's interesting realising that so much of what I've been doing with this material is layering dirt in different ways, which is kind of, well, it should be obvious because there's, well, 4 different dirt pedals on this board, but I think I worked out I've got something like a dozen different dirt sounds. So, I mean, if you consider a rock band with 2 guitarists, and a bunch of pedals, between them and the bassist, they've got a lot of dirt sounds. So that's my thinking, is wanting to add textures in different ways, not in a kind of pointless way. Some of it's functional, some of it's that dirt sounds won't work with certain sounds. You know, it turns to mush, but you're wanting to add some edge, but you don't want to kind of lose everything in the distortion, so that there's a balance. But the clean bass on its own just isn't necessarily going to fill the space in the mix that it needs to. So let's see if I can remember how this bit goes. This is quite confusing. That last one is definitely the hardest thing I've written to play. Trying to get those even 8th notes underneath the other notes without messing it up, and then just those hits and, you know, higher up with the power chords, and then the guitar-y sort of stylings. Not something I'm used to doing. The other bit, I'm used to doing stuff where you're alternating and you're using your thumb and your fingers, but it's quite unusual to keep the thumb thudding steadily whilst the fingers play along with it. So you're trying to act like there is a bass doing a steady 8th note underneath what is a, you know, very simple but quite pretty sounding guitar part. So this is, oh yeah, that's it, that's the right sound. So then that goes into this thing that's, can I go to that? What's that? No, I think just, maybe, can't remember the next section. What's the next bit? I think something like this. You know that moment of realising there's some cool sounds and you've forgotten which ones you're meant to be using, and I think it's probably this. So those other sections, you probably noticed there was a bunch of dirt. Can you tell me what time signatures I was in? There we are. Turn your musical brain on, fire it up. If you can do it by feel, I'll be impressed. It's sort of thing, you write a riff, then afterwards you go, what have I done? What have I done? What is that in? Forgetting parts. Too tired, too much concentrating. Should we see if I can do the ending riff? Because that's quite fun and gnarly. Yes. Trying to remember which pedals to use on this bit. I need to write some sort of complicated chart. Look at the camera and then lose where you are. Again, probably more practice required, but yeah, again, time signature question. So that's me messing with dirt pedals, and there's more to come and more learning and more experimentation, so I will check back in with some of that at some point. Hopefully you enjoyed my ramblings, my meanderings and my unedited playing. Yeah, no punching in, no second takes. Sadly, I'm too busy for that, running around like the sort of hamster running a business like Bareface. So that is the way it is. Thank you and goodbye, and my heartfelt apologies that my face isn't in focus because I've had it manually focused on there. But do you care? No, you don't. You don't care. Thank you. Goodbye. I will see you. I've been Alex for Barefaced, and yes, rock and roll.